Well, what's up, everybody? We're glad you joined us today. I got Pastor Marcus Brown here with me, and we had a great message, man, by the way, Sunday that you preached about relationships, community.
Sure.
I loved it, man. And we're just going to hang out and talk and chat. We're glad that you are on here with us. I look a little bit better than you, though, man, today. No, I'm just playing. You look good, bro. You look good.
This is kind of like the overtime material, you know. Yeah, about the message. When I was thinking about things when I got like off stage, I mean, there's so many things about this topic that you're sitting here going, God, I wish I'd have said this and that, and whatever. But I think I would go back to Acts 1:14.
Okay.
And you look at the early church who really, they had, because of persecution, they had to get it right, and they got it right. And this is why the New Testament church just had so much power and community in it. But watch what it says in verse 14 of chapter 1. It says, they all joined together constantly in prayer. Think about that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to be in a church like that? Like have your family in this?
No doubt.
They all joined together constantly in prayer, along with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brothers. This is what I wish I could go back and talk about, all right? Is that if we are in a group that's not centered around Jesus, it's just social activity.
Yeah.
And I've led groups like that. So if you're in a group or you're leading a group, let me tell you this, it's not biblical fellowship until it's me and it's you and it's Jesus.
Yeah.
There's got to be we constantly pray when we're together. We're constantly centered around. But when you get that right, okay, there's spiritual strength in that. There's been times where we've laughed and we've had a good time, but we all left the same.
Yeah.
But when Jesus is the center, we're just like, oh, gosh. I literally drive away going, that changed my week.
Yeah.
I've never been one that likes to go to a life group in the beginning. Like, I gripe about it every week. Do you do that too? Like, if you're in a group?
I don't do that.
You don't? I do. Like, I don't ever want to go.
I'm just more spiritual than I'm playing.
No, I give Brooke a hard time. I'm like, I don't have time for this. And I would tell you, it's like our default mode is solitude. It's to be alone. Like, all of us, like, I just want to unplug. And I don't want to be around anybody spiritual. Like, nobody's like, I'm tired. I want to be around somebody real spiritual. We just want to all unplug. But I would give you this. Eliminate all of those excuses in your mind, okay? As soon as you go, I think I need to do a life group, whether it's digital or whatever. Satan's going to tell you there's going to be awkward people there.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be weird people. There are.
Just weird people out there.
I'm weird. You're weird.
Yeah, we're all weird.
Find some weird people. That's going to be the first thing. Then you just say, I don't like Zoom, you know?
Right.
So what? It's like my aunt bought Dr. Thunder instead of Dr. Pepper. It wasn't the best, but we drank the whole case. Okay, listen, even if you're like, Zoom is a little bit different right now, suck it up. You know what I'm saying? You're not made of glass. We're in a season,
right? And
don't yield. Just tough it up. Be a man of God, be a woman of God, and go, this isn't the best, but we're going to do what we're supposed to do. Yeah. And if you'll make that deep commitment, I guarantee you God will bless it.
I think, just what you said in the message too, just about we have to fight for this.
Yes.
It's a season where we have been kind of isolated. We went through a quarantine, last spring and winter. And it's like now we're coming out of this hopefully sooner, but we got to fight for those relationships. And you talked about that in the message. Share those couple things that you were talking about with the people.
But I'll tell you, like emotionally, this is what I feel in my own life is that I've lost ground with people that I love. And I think you got to fight to gain that ground back. Otherwise, you'll be thinking, oh, the church is different and nobody loves me. You've got all of these ways that you would phrase it, but at the end of the day, the thing is like, I've lost relational ground with people, and you've got to own that and do your part, I've dropped the ball with people. People have dropped the ball with me, but we're men and women of God. We got to fight to get back.
Got to fight for it,
You got to have people in front of you. You got to have people behind you.
Yeah.
You got to have people beside you, and you got to overcome the obstacles and all the excuses.
Yeah. One of the coolest things, man, about being a part of New Life, as we've been pastors here. When I just came on as a pastor of New Life, I remember doing life groups, and I just loved it, man. I loved being in community every week. I loved opening up. One thing I love about our pastor is he is real. He wrote that book called Be Real, and I feel like our life groups, you can be honest, you can be real in those settings, and that's what I loved more about leading one as a pastor, but being a part of one is man, people are getting real in here.
Yep.
And we're talking about real stuff, and we're praying for each other, and we're believing for each other. So what would you say for you, man, like your life group experience? What have you loved about it, man?
Oh, it's just so many things. But you learn that God created your soul for this. You weren't created to be alone. So there's things that you cannot get through in life without people. Like you can't get over an addiction by yourself. You can't get over a hurt by yourself. Like we went through grief. I lost my father this last year. I can't get over grief by myself. I need people to get around us, right? The gifts of God can't come out of you by yourself. They can't. Like I get around other people, and I'm like, oh, they'll start seeing gifts in me, and anointing come out of me that I didn't even know was there.
Yeah, that's good.
It's one of the essentials of life. It's like oxygen, like water. It is the essential to the spiritual life. You gotta do it. I think as a pastor, every time I'm talking to somebody, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, no matter what they're saying, there's another part of my mind going, who are they connected to?
Yeah.
And it scares me when I think that somebody's alone. It's like when you see the wildebeest on the Serengeti, he gets alone from the herd. That's the one the crocodile's gonna get. They can't cross the river by themselves, you know.
That's so true.
But I think that's where people are at when they're isolated. And it's been so easy over the last 9 months to be isolated.
Yeah.
Be alone. But I now see the emotional wear and tear on kids. I see it on moms who feel like I don't know if anybody has seen me, acknowledge me in a year, almost a year now. I see it. And so we're opening the doors. We're doing what we can do as our part. And all of you guys watching, here's your step. The ball's in your hand. You got to take a step of faith here.
Yeah. So. And we want to help you whichever way that we can, you know, get connected and find relationships. Because that word you said in there was together in Acts. Yeah. They prayed together. They were together. And that's what's going to get us through these hard times. Yeah. It's just being together. I mean, me and you have talked, texted, I mean, gosh, almost every day the past several months. Yep. And just having those relationships, man, that get us through these times. But if you need anything, man, at our church, if you need somebody to pray with you, you want to get connected at all, we would love to do that, man.
Absolutely. We love you guys.
Love you. Have a great day.